Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. Happy Friday. It is January 30th, 2026. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. I hope your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the area of health along with first responders every day trying to save lives. Those that pick up garbage, keep our city streets clean. Those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those that are helping the people that are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and those perverts that create the demands that cause these evil industries to exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and military veterans homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. It's going to be a basketball game tonight at Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks will be playing the Portland Trailblazers. And the New York Knicks are going to be, there's two players that are questionable. Deuce is questionable and Hart is questionable. Now, based on those two guys, both of them in the Roughneck School, Board of Directors Roughneck School, Availability School, I expect both of them to play. Trailblazers have Avdiva as questionable and Robert Williams III, who is part of the Anthony Ambulance School of Unavailability, questionable. But Avdiva, he's questionable because of a sore back, and we know when he hurt that sore back, it was against the Knicks. And so he has been playing. He played 31 minutes this past Wednesday for them. So he probably will play unless that back is sore. He probably will play, but it's a day-to-day situation. He is big for Portland right now, and so they need him. And the Knicks, of course, are in the hunt now for the Eastern Conference Championship, and they're second, 5.5 games behind Detroit, who lost last night. The Detroit lost to the Suns. Every team goes through it, y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, Detroit been the top team in the East pretty much all season. So, they still 5.5 games above the Knicks. But there's a lot of season to go, and everybody got to go through their thing. It's Detroit's turn now. So, the Knicks need every win they could get. They keep stacking wins. Now, good thing, a big thing happened the other day that didn't involve, well, maybe it did involve Giannis, but it was a big thing. If you saw what Mikal Bridges said post-game in the last game against the Raptors, that he probably was being uncoachable, that he wasn't caring about the team, and he had to look in the mirror and reevaluate himself, which led him to play a terrific game against the Raptors when the Knicks were shorthanded and on the road and in the second night of a back-to-back. That's the type of comment. See, people make comments like that, and it's good when they're down, when they've been beat down and they've been humbled. He made that comment after a huge game, which says that he has understood his role in not really being brought in, not hustling the way he should, not playing the way he should. They asked him about his shooting, and he said, no, I wasn't playing right. And Josh Hart was lit behind it. Josh Hart said, wow. I'm sure Josh Hart will tell you what he's thinking, but I'm sure the whole team caught that. Cat has been sacrificing his game to help the Knicks win. What do I mean by that? He's been sacrificing his scoring. He only took 11 shots the other night, and he only hit 3 of them. But homie had 22 boards. And it was at least the third game since this whole thing began with the 2-11 streak that he's had at least 15 to 18 rebounds in the game. That is sacrifice for the team. Rebounding is about technique, want to, and hustle. Technique, want to, and hustle. In other words, I want that ball, and I'm going to get that ball. That's Josh Hart, and now that's Karl-Anthony Towns. So that is my view that this talk of trade lit a fire under both homies. Now, let me just go back in history, as you know I like to do. having been a Knicks fan for more than 50 years. When Carmelo Anthony trade happened with Denver, the Knicks were at a point that they were starting to gel in Mike D'Antoni's speedball offense. At that point, Raymond Felton was playing at an all-star. By all accounts, if you remember, Raymond Felton, who's not an all-star, never been, was playing at an all-star level. Stat was playing at an all-star level. You had Wilson Chandler, Gallinari. They was balling at that time. And then the trade happened. Stopped the whole momentum. There became a whole Carmelo Anthony hype, but it was never the same. Here we are again. The Knicks are starting to ball right now. Okay? They really are. They're coming out of the hole that they were in. And two important pieces, interestingly enough, two important pieces that they traded for and gave up a lot to get, that people are now talking about trading, which I find to be ironic and stupid. But it is what it is. Let me tell y'all very plainly. The Knicks do not need Giannis to win a chip this year. Plainly. To me, the Giannis talk is all about NBA 2K fantasy, and it's not about reality. Because if you were watching reality, I understand Giannis two-time MVP, championship with the Bucks, but now that's before. As we're looking at it right now, where Milwaukee at? Milwaukee is 12th in the East. That's with Giannis. 12th. Where's the Knicks at? Knicks second in the East with Cat and Mikal. So what are we saying? Let them boys ball. You know, I guess it was a month ago. I was saying, if you recall, that Coach Brown was making things way more complicated than it needed to be. That he was too much focused on offense and he needed to step up the game on the defensive side of the ball. And he needed to stop making the offense so complicated and just give Cat the damn ball and move out the way and let him make plays. And then, guess what? That's what they've been doing. The only time the Knicks get in trouble is when Jalen Brunson decides to play hero ball in the first half. Now, some of y'all didn't get the memo. We want Jalen Brunson playing hero ball in the fourth quarter now. Somebody said, well, he's still shooting too much looking at the fourth quarter. Don't be stupid. You got to play the Oscar Robertson style. And I know some of y'all don't even know who that is. And if you do, you probably read it in a history book or something, but you ain't seen him. I did. And what Oscar Robertson used to do, he used to spend the first 3 quarters of a game getting all his teammates involved. See, there wasn't a player made in the NBA that could guard Oscar Robertson. I mean, nobody could guard him. There's a couple players like that, and that's with grabbing, holding, pushing, aggressive, physical. That's how the NBA was. There wasn't no, you get to take a 3-point shot and somebody land in your area and there's another, there's another call made aside from the foul call. He might not have touched you, but he landed wrong. We understand. But when Oscar played, they was getting away with all kind of stuff and nobody could do nothing with him. Okay. So he would get his teammates involved, understanding in his mind nobody could guard him. So he was getting his teammates. He made sure everybody touched the ball. He was getting this. As a matter of fact, he was the first player to average a triple-double before Westbrook. He was the first player to average a triple-double over the course of a season. And the reason is he was making sure all his teammates got involved. And during that time, the first 3 quarters of a game, he'd be sizing up the defense, sizing up how they're approaching him. And by the fourth quarter, he figured out, first of all, Oscar wore the opponent down over the first 3 quarters. He was a big dude, 6'5", probably weighed about 220, muscular. In his prime, you couldn't mess with him. And could handle the rock, obviously. He was a point guard. Couldn't mess with him, okay? The fourth quarter came and you was his. And he took over. Brunson needs to, and at times, I'm not saying he never does it, but he's been taking that page now because now they're doing the first few quarters. Now, Brunson, when he's feeling it, right? But he's understanding. Get everybody involved. Let everybody touch the rock. Don't just come down and jack up a three. Let everybody touch the rock. Do a little weave. And especially get that damn ball to Cat. Then the fourth quarter comes, and Brunson's a very physical. Now, he's not as 6'5" like Oscar was, but he plays the game very, very physical. Okay, he's one of the most physical guards in the league. So he starts wearing people down, and he's running all night too. So by the time the fourth quarter comes, he done figured you out, and the assassin comes out. You want that, Knicks Nation. You want that. You want the assassin in the fourth quarter, okay? Now, he won't win them all, but I think we understand more often than not. Ask Detroit. Ask Boston. He's going to do business in the fourth, and there's nothing you could do about it. So, this is now what they're doing. The only time we have trouble is when the captain goes off that game plan. When he sticks to that game plan, we good. And the last few games, but especially to me, this last game against the Raptors, the captain, Coley, all of them, Mikal, Shamit, they wasn't letting nothing happen in the paint. The point of attack defense was like a steel daggone wall. You wasn't getting through. First half, they was going off. They was. But second half, nope. Same with the Kings. Nope. Nope. And they was fighting. You saw Shamit battling. And that's what I said. Play your game. Don't worry about the foul calls. Let them call the fouls. If you foul out, you just foul out. But at least if you play your game and you end up fouling out, you went down swinging. And what you want to do? Go out like a puppy, or you want to go out like a man? Malcolm X said we should go out like men. The Knicks need to do that. Forget the fouls. Don't worry about offensive fouls or the stupid fouls cats get. Play your game. Be aggressive. Because you know what? Detroit ain't going to be soft on you. Neither is Boston. We got to be hard. We got to come hard. And that's what they've been doing. So this is the problem. I want to also make culpa myself, if I may. I was wrong. The Knicks cannot give them 3 first-round picks right now. They could do it in the summer, and they really could give them 2 number ones and a swap, or more swaps if they want to. But they can't because they don't have, you cannot have losing your first-round pick in consecutive seasons. And the Knicks don't start gaining first-round pick again until this summer. They got one for 2031. They can, get one for 2033, which is way up. And you could do pick swaps, and of course, they got a ton of second-round picks. That may not be enough for the Bucks. See, people are too focused because of the media. And again, you got suckered. Don't get focused on what Giannis wants. The Bucks don't give a crap what he wants. They have his rights. This is like slavery. They own him. And they want to get fair price for him. Now, let's not discount it. Damn, Karl Anthony Towns would be a game changer for them too. He may fit better with that team than Giannis. So, y'all saying about, the Knicks don't have the draft capital. Maybe they don't. But you know what? Does Milwaukee really, they're trying to get everything they can. Okay, they are committed. $120 million to It's Raining Men. They committed. Okay? They got a nice young point guard, Ryan Rollins. And they got some pieces. But they still got to build, obviously. They're not championship material right now. But, you're not going to be when you trade Giannis. So they know that. But I don't know what they want. But they're going to get what they want. Now, in the summer, the Knicks would be able to make a stronger offer in terms of number 1 picks. Okay? Now, Giannis does have the cards. Because he could tell any team, and this has been done before with Kawhi, with other players. This has been done many times in the free agent era. He could tell any team, I'm not going to sign no extension with you. So you could trade for me if you want, but it's going to be a rental. And they won't give up all them assets for him. So he do hold the cards right now. And if the Bucks want to get the max they can get for him, they got to ask him, would you mind going to Miami? Would you mind going to Golden State? They got to ask him. Now, Giannis has stated clearly. He said this. Anybody, of course, anybody would love to play in New York because big city, and he likes big cities. Okay, I don't know where, if he come from Athens or where in Greece he came from, but he likes the big city life. So San Francisco, that's the Golden State Warriors, New York, and of course Miami. Now Minnesota's interested, of course they are, but I don't know if homie want to play in damn Minneapolis. But hey, we'll see. But he is going to decide if he wants to re-sign. That still don't mean nothing to the Bucks though. They'll send him anywhere they can get the best deal. It's between him and that new team what's going to happen next, okay? So, I don't think it's going to happen this week. And I'm glad it's not. Because you know why? Yes, the Knicks can make a better offer in the summer, but what most people are not paying attention to, which is normal, when the hype, when the hype media gets a hold of something. But look here, if we win the chip this year, they ain't trading Cap. Why would they? If we win the chip this year, or we get to the finals, they ain't trading Cap, especially if he plays the role he's playing now. People making a big deal that he sat fourth quarters. That's stupid. You trying to win. And if the team you got out there with Mitch Rob closing is winning, then that's who you going to play. But 22 rebounds is 22 goddamn rebounds. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? So, look, let's not get stupid. Okay? So, if they're winning the chip with brother there, okay, if they winning the chip with homie, then they ain't trading him. They keeping the band together. Okay? And look. Did they actually go through the trouble of building this team to trade pieces away in the middle of the season for Giannis? No, I'm sorry. But no, they didn't. They built this team to win. And as I said, it's a 4-year window. When they got capped, it was a 4. Nobody can continue to be at the top echelon. I mean, some teams can, like Oklahoma City, but it's an exception. It's not the rule. Most teams, you got a window of opportunity to win the championship. A window where you got the squad you need, you got the players, you got the management. Everything comes together, okay? And that's your window. So when the Knicks traded for Karl-Anthony Towns, it was a 4-year window. They had Julius Randle and Dante. They would have had to re-sign Julius, and that was a big question why people don't remember at the time. But they decided to trade Juju because Minnesota, as we said the year before that, they wasn't going to play all that luxury tax. And they could take 2 lesser players, and I say lesser, in a wild way because those 2 dudes could ball, right? But they took 2 lesser players, cheaper, that would help them in terms of the tax, but also help them win. And Minnesota's doing pretty good right now. So that's what they wanted, and we saw that coming because of Cat's 53, 55, 61 million coming down the pipe. The Knicks saw it too and took the risk because it's a 4-year window. You got Mikal for 4 years, you got Brunson for 4 years, you got OG for 4 years, and you got Cat for 4 years. And now it's 3 years. You just had one. This is you're in the middle of your second one. So right now, from the time Cat came, the championship window was open. It's not closed. That's what I don't understand with all of this talk. It's not closed. It's not like they can't win a chip. They can. It's just that they want everybody, the Knicks nation and the media act like the Knicks supposed to have all-stars 1 through 12. Now, is that ridiculous or not? It is ridiculous, isn't it? And then they act like they're supposed to be 82-0. Every game is a bad loss. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Yes, it is. I wish some Knicks fans look themselves in the mirror like Mikal did and recognize, but forget that. And forget Giannis. Forget it. Like I said yesterday, we get him, we'll be all right. But we don't need him. We don't need him. We got the squad. All you got to do is let these cats ball. Mike Brown is soft, I'll give you that. But he's also learning, as he said, I got to learn, it starts with me. He's right. And based on the recent, the Knicks' recent 5-game stretch, I say homie picking it up. And some of it gets ugly, like Clarkson is out the rotation. Tyler Kolek is out the rotation. Gershon Yabusele's out the rotation, and he's been going 8. Now people gonna say, well, Tyler played good. I know he did. This is the league, though. You could play good and then sit the next 3 games. That's how it goes in the league. He's not taking Deuce McBride's minutes. I'm sorry, but it ain't happening. And he damn sure ain't taking Landry Shamet's minutes. So it is what it is. Coach Brown made the tough Thibodeau-type decision. We going 8 until we get a 9th. The 9th is coming in the form of whoever we get traded Yabusele for. Okay? That's the 9th. It's not going to be Kolek. And I hear y'all. I hear. But you got to be real instead of being whiny. Is what it is. So, and I think Clarkson might go out too. Because it don't make no sense to me that he should be sitting. He's too good. But he ain't been playing. And if Deuce and Hart play tonight, he still may not play. Not no rotation minutes. So right now, they looking for that 9th guy. And it could be in the form of Alvarado, God forbid, or Sohan, or Precious, or Keon Ellis. Even Macy, I'm having a problem with him too. What the hell? You got Towns starting the 5. You now know you can put OG at the 5. And of course, you have the greatest offensive rebounder in the NBA right now, Mitchell Robinson. So what the hell you need with Eve Missy? I don't know. Maybe if they lose Mitch Rob over the summer, he becomes the new Mitch Rob. Okay. But right now, we knocking on the door of Chip. So we got to go for Chip. I'm just thinking, Chip means somebody that could ball at the 9th spot right now. Precious Achua, Keon Ellis, Sohan, and if you want to, Alvarado. But I'm just saying, we got to go get this thing right now. So we'll see what they do. And just because we are hearing Alvarado's name a lot, even from Ian Begley, that don't mean they're getting him. The Don is slick. And sometimes agents put out stuff too. So we got to remember that's a possibility. I'm not saying it's definite, but it's a possibility. Agents put out stuff. And when agents put out stuff, they doing it for their client, right? So that could be the case also. The whole thing with Misi and Alvarado. Because, like I said, I've been saying tumble in the face. It don't make sense lineup-wise when you got Shamet and Deuce, plus Brunson and Mikal. It still makes sense. But, okay. Let's say they do it. Okay. And somebody said, why are they taking Alvarado? He doesn't play any defense. Please check yourself before you wreck yourself. Come on. What you mean he don't play no defense? Anyway, we'll see. But let's get this dub tonight. That's the key. That's the thing. That's the focus. Get this dub over Portland tonight. Keep that defense at the high level. Keep giving Cat the ball. Move the damn basketball. Rebound the basketball. Okay? Guard the paint. And we'll be in good shape. Okay? Let's get that done. Nobody get hurt. You all enjoy it. I'll be seeing it tomorrow night. You all enjoy the game. Enjoy your Friday. Be safe out there. Sure.